Yeah, so I'm from Tequila Games. We are a game developer from Poland, having been in industry for I think it's 12 years already. So we're kind of dinosaurs. We started when the little Nokia still had a black and white screens. So you can imagine how far we went in terms of the mobile games industry evolution and mobile evolution as well. So yeah, let me. I need to learn that. Okay, so that's basically a part of our team. We started as Tequila Mobile. Just to give you a quick background, I won't bother you a lot with that. We started in 2002, of course, from a startup to a company, the regular way, which is the most common one. And in the process, we also created Tequila Games. We separated the game studio to the whole new company in 2012, so they can concentrate only on doing games, because the company was also doing some different game services. And yeah, well, we have a gaming in the blood. So we've been doing games for all of these years, mostly casual games. So we had some casual games experience from the beginning. Well, but on the other hand, it was difficult to make a mid-core game on a little Nokia. But we switched to smartphones when the market began. Still doing casual games, but after being such a long time in the industry, you finally realize that something is missing, and what we've been missing is a game that part of the team always wanted to make, or maybe a genre of the game. And even though we had a couple of successful products, here are some examples. By the way, referring to the presentation, the last presentation, in the Battlefriends at Sea, which was a casual game, we had a couple who actually used the in-game chat in the game, and they've been from, one guy was from Canada, and second was from France, the girl was from France, and they met and they got married. And they sent us a postcard saying that, oh, thanks for releasing the game, it was nice. So I can relate to what we heard about the non-gamers a couple of minutes before. We've been all gamers in the company, and we've been always missing a game that we could also make for us, so we could play it for months, for years. And over 1 year ago, we risked everything. Actually, I do mean it. We risked everything. We put all the money we had, and since last year, we raised I don't know how many rounds of financing to make this. And this is F-Core Shattered Elements. So I'd like to ask you, before I start digging into that, so how many of you ever played a card game, like a Magic the Gathering, Hearthstone? And it's always astonishing, because I thought, I'm a CEO of the company. I'm a gamer, but that was not my thing even 2 years ago. But I thought that this is niche. Of course it is. It's not Candy Crush. But it always amazes me how many people played that kind of games before. And we also in our team had people who have been pitching the game concepts to me and our friends from the management every couple of weeks, saying, "Hi, how about we do this game? It's about card. Well, well, bring me something casual." Yeah. So, but you learn from as you go, and it took us a year to pivot into a CCG company, and we are making the game, which we believe is pretty unique. It's pretty unique because it brings something fresh. It's not a Magic the Gathering. It's not Hearthstone. It's the crafting, which I'm giving a presentation today about, and I will focus on that largely. This is something that we are proud of, because this is the first game that will enable unlimited card crafting. it means that we'll effectively turn players into designers and let them make new cards, and that can, hopefully for some of them be very powerful, but of course they also can be very weak. But we give the freedom to players, and I'll explain that a little bit. But the top of the main point is that there is a game which is very transparent, which gives a very, lots of, actually it's thousands of opportunities for players on how they build their deck of cards. Just a quick look on how the cards look like, but I will get to that in a second, because what really makes Earthcore unique is that first of all, the deep storyline. We felt that lots of these games that you build your deck, you go to the arena and you fight with friends. These are the games that lack the strong storyline, and we also, as a gamers, felt, especially our design team, because they know the stuff most. We felt that lots of people, lots of games neglect that type of gameplay, and we wanted to do a pretty robust single-player campaign. But that's not the biggest part. Two others are very important. So the game, what we're trying to do is something people call impossible, because we want to make a product which is accessible. So if you, I'm a good example, and probably most of you are could also relate to that. We want to make a game that's easy to pick up, which is easy to understand, yet it has enormous tactical depth, and the depth that hardcore players will follow. And that's what we're trying to achieve here. We don't have mana, we don't have shields, we don't have numbers on the cards like it's in all those other card games. We just have the risk, and that's the number in the middle. So the game is risk-based. It means that the better card you have, the higher the risk if you lose it. So if in this example, if I lose this card, it will hurt me 9 health points. I can play it, okay, if I think that this is strong and game is skill-based. So if I win it, yeah, then congrats for me, kudos for me. But if I lose it, it will actually hurt me. So that's the concept, and then card crafting kicks in. So we have 2 types of cards in the game. I will show you a demo in a moment. All right. So that's it's still the development build. We're making this game for over a year now, and it's still a couple of months to come. So it's a quite complex product, but I want to focus on the card crafting. You can see the art style and the atmosphere, so I won't be talking about it. But the crafting. So there are basically 2 types of cards. Each card has these are recruit cards. Each card has a unique skill, so this can give a card a certain advantage in the battle. So this card, for example, this is actually a good skill, because the card can swap places with the opponent's card, so you can effectively steal a card from an opponent during the battle. And this one is leap. It's another skill that can make the card more dynamic on the battlefield. But basically, there are 2 types of cards. These are hero recruit cards. We have each of them has a unique skill. But then there are what we call a hero cards, and these are the cards that can have just a sec. These are the cards that can have up to 3 skills, and the thing is that we give players a complete freedom on how they this is one example. We give players a complete freedom on how they craft their cards, and some skills may work very synergically together. So if you figure out the right combination, you can have a very solid advantage in a multiplayer mode, which is like a League of Legends like system based on Elo ranking. But if you do not make good decisions, then potentially you lost some time, you lost some cards to craft the hero, and you are losing in the battlefield. So the game is very skill-based, but the point is that we are, instead of pushing new cards to the game each time to satisfy all those players who are seeking new content and are looking for new content because they already got all the cards, we give them crafting and allow them to make up to 500,000 unique card combinations. So that's something where we believe players will make it very impossible also for us to balance the game, and that's one of the challenges we had. But on the other hand, it gives a very it gives a lots of freedom for players to invent their gameplay style. So this also means that this also means that we have lots of challenges, because 500,000 cards potentially in the game, it's something that is first of all hard to design, difficult to balance, if not impossible, and very challenging. And we had to actually set up the entire company, reinvent the entire company, so we are a CCG-oriented company. Even our office assistant is now fluent in CCGs and playing in the spare time. But shortly about the challenges. The design one is actually one of the simpler. Of course, we have to design the cards so they can evolve along with the player. So the upper part is a character that player is evolving, whether the bottom part is a part when players are putting the skills as they want, creating different combinations, and at the same time making each card unique and each card very, very, very different from the other combination. And this is one part. We also plan the images to evolve along with the evolution. So if you craft a hero into a slightly expanded hero because you'll add a skill which can, I don't know, make it switchable with other card, then the illustration will also, the character will also evolve with time. So at the moment, that would mean that we would need 500,000 unique card illustrations. So that is a big of challenge that we are unable to skip. But it's something that is possible, and we are also preparing for that. But the more these are some card illustrations that you can see on the right. Made by lots of talented graphic designers from around the world. We also have one Serbian guy working for us, by the way. So if you have a game which works a bit like Minecraft, in terms that you give lots of freedom to players and let them create whatever they want, it creates some different set of challenges also from the game balancing perspective. And we have to adopt. To some degree, the risk mechanics that I told you about, that the gameplay is based about, is a bit self-tuning, because if you craft a stronger card, the risk automatically goes up. So the card is becoming slightly more powerful, but also slightly more vulnerable in case it loses the duel. And the game is very skill-based, so there's no guarantee, and this is good in EarthCore and similar games, that even when you have the strongest cards possible, you can lose with the basic cards, because there's a skill element kicking in. The game is based on very simple formula on 3 battling elements. So this red card is fire, and it will win over the green card, which is earth. Because fire burns earth. Earth absorbs water, water burns fire. So blue card will always win against the red one, no matter if it's a hero or recruit. So there's lots of this is a skill-based game. So our QA team had to be really expanded, and that goes beyond the regular QA team. So not only we need more people to test everything, and knowing that, of course, they won't catch all the 500,000 possibilities that exist in the game, but also we had to do some take some unusual approach to the QA team. So we knew that the game has to be accessible, and since we've been doing casual games, then we have some experience and we can be confident that the game will be easy to pick up. But on the other hand, we wanted the game to be hardcore, to suit also hardcore players. And here we thought that we need to expand the QA team with some hardcore players. So we are looking for guys who can test that. We are adding them to the team and also work with people remotely. So recently we also started hunting for hardcore players directly in the game. So I would log into the game when there's an in-game chat and start playing with someone experienced, and the guy is telling me, yeah, you know, I have a gold-plated armor, I'm on the 100th level, I will smash your ass, basically. And then I would tell him, are you looking for a job? And this is why we are, this is how we are also getting testers to our team. So the team grew from initially 20 people assigned to the project to right now almost 60, including some freelancers like the players. But there's lots of things we need to take care of, and probably even when we feel we are ready, we'll not be ready until the game is out and tested in the field. Also the backend, we had to design the pretty robust backend that we can manage the cards and the content and the analytics and everything. So there's a huge exercise on our side to build it. But there's one big difference comparing the nature of this game to the others, that in this game just one card that will add to the game creates thousands of new opportunities for players. So basically one new added skill and one new added card creates, I don't know, something like 1,000, I think at the moment, new cards. It's just up to players' imagination on what they will craft, what they will get at the end, and whether the cards that they will craft will be good or bad. But this is why we also need to plug in some heavy analytics to catch out the situations when somebody crafted a card which is potentially a gameplay killer, because this is possible, and we have a number of smart scripts running in on the servers that are analyzing what decks players have and help us make those pinpoint those decks which are too aggressive and potentially can hurt the game. And on the other hand, we need to enable players to craft what they want. So we are still figuring out how to approach this. One of the examples is just displaying and giving a player their reward. So congratulations, you just crafted a card which kills everyone in the game. So here is your reward. Or make a Hall of Fame. But this is a problem that I'm openly telling you that with a game like this, we are thinking on how to tackle. But the ultimate purpose and the overarching principle of this game, if we succeed, is that there will be no winning deck. So what we aim to deliver is a transparent experience for players when they can enter the arena, battle each other in the leagues and divisions. And actually, if you play and if you think you're smarter and you just crafted a deck which is the most powerful since you started playing in a week, and then there's someone who has been a little bit smarter than you and crafted a little bit stronger deck, or figure out a tactics that basically kills yours. So there's no winning deck in this game, and that's the main assumption. And the project is intended to live for years. And as I told you, we risked everything. We put all the money we had, and of course, it will cost even more when we get it. The budget already exceeded $1 million, so you can imagine that this is pretty serious stuff. but this is it. The game is about taking the risk, and we as a company are also risk takers in the in this situation. But if we are right, and if this crafting thing works out for a certain amount of players, then this game will potentially never die, because there will be always a continuous evolution in the rankings, and players will first compete on the arena and then battle in clans to figure out and to build the most powerful army of cards that are possible. Yeah, so that's why we didn't even go beyond 2016, because nobody knows what will happen. Maybe this will be a complete fail, but on the product wise, we are committed to focus the entire company on EarthCore. So there will be no sequel if the game succeeds. We'll just be making EarthCore for as long as it takes to be successful. So yeah, so that was it. I'm happy that I could share our little baby that's getting born in Q1 2015 with you. We're starting on iOS. First, we are talking to Apple about some exclusivity for the first time, and then we'll also think about bringing the game to Android and possibly other platforms. So yeah, that was it. Thank you. Oh, and by the way, I have a game with me, so if anyone is interested to give it a shot, then I will happily show it off. Thanks. Any questions, perhaps? Yeah, there's okay.
Hi.
Hi.
Well, I have 2 questions, and I'll have more after the presentation because I'm really interested in this. The first one is, how will you handle rage quitters in the game? What's your plan system?
Well,
Rage quitters, so people who quit mid-match, like how do you want to handle that? Because a lot of versus games have that as an issue. And the other thing is, as you add new abilities, new skills to the game, that'll just give more and more combinations. Like, how do you have like a plan how to test old cards with new skills that have new skills, because that's like 500,000 cards that need to be reviewed again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the first questions on how we want to handle the people who quit the game. So first of all, this can be to some degree handled from the game balance perspective. So people who get to the game just to play the match and quit when they feel they are losing, will simply do not level. We will not be giving them experience for what they are doing. At the same time, we will not be giving them credits in terms of the currency that they can buy cards. So this is a little thing, but very powerful if you use it right. And we are aware, because we are all Hearthstone players, for example, and we can feel how frustrating it is when somebody sees that he's losing and he just jumps out of the ship. So we'll be not punishing those people, but they will, if they do it, they will not evolve. So that's one, but very powerful way of handling that. And the second questions. How we plan to check the skills versus, we have some algorithmic approach. We are still looking for the perfect formula, but we are on track to at least facilitate the process. On the other hand, what we are doing is that we give players possibility to make them willing crafting old skills as well. So there are drawbacks. So potentially skills that are not very attractive, but if you craft a free skilled hero when one of the skill is a drawback, then the risk is automatically getting lower. So it's a safer hero to play. The second thing is factions. Also, some faction cards have different risk values, which encourages players to craft some of them. Yeah. And there was one question, yeah, from you.
Yeah, you mentioned that Earthcore has some story in it, and I would like to ask, how is it integrated in the game? Is the storytelling by some quests, or are you compiling encyclopedia of trivia behind those cars?
Yeah, we have a pretty robust single-player campaign, which is comprised of books. I will show you after the show. Each book has completely different sets of missions, but there is a whole storyline which goes beyond all books, in addition to quests, which are also present. But the storyline is pretty epic, and it's not just telling a story. We are actually, you will be able to feel the story because, just to give you an example, in one battle you are getting hurt, and in the second battle you need to battle someone, AI in this case, or some kind of boss who, while being hurt, so starting from just 5 HPs instead of 25 full health points. So that's just one example, but we really, put some good effort into the single player campaign. So yeah, I would be happy to hear your feedback.
Thank
you. Yeah, one more. Oh yeah.
Well, first of all, my respect for being so courageous to put all your spirit, heart, and even money into one project. I really hope it pays out for you, for all of you. And I'm not going to go into all these questions that could be asked, like business risks and stuff like this. Yeah. But one more very down-to-earth question. Down to earth. There's a play on words. How do you imagine a game going where I have, I don't know, 15 barbarians? Each of them does something else, and I'm playing against you, and then suddenly I'm spamming the playing field with all of these different barbarians, and they either look all the same, or if you manage to come up with something to represent the different skills, then they at least all look very, very similar. I can see this particular aspect as to be very confusing.
No, it's very simple. You have 30 cards in your deck, so you can craft as many as you have, but you need to test them. So you are going into the battle with just 30 cards, and you are trying what are the best combinations, and you are trying the cards. So it may happen that all of your cards you will use the same card, but that will be not very probably wise from a
yeah, it might not make too much sense from a strategic point of view, but if you're just talking about player confusion, my aim is not to have the best card. My aim is to make the game so frustrating for you, because you have to check every one of those 15 barbarians in the game. Okay, wait, this barbarian, what did he do again? And this one, because you can freely combine all the skills.
Skills are gradually introduced, so it's not like you as a new player have access to all the ones. So there is some leveling in the game that enables that, and then when you have it, you still have. If you will be, as a player, quickly punished by others when you go into with the deck that perhaps is just made to annoy me, but on the other hand, you will be quickly beaten because it's skill-based anyway. And the drawbacks, if the other players will use it, can work against your tactics very effectively. So, but the truth is, we'll see. I don't have all the possible scenarios in my head. That would be amazing, actually. Thanks. Yeah.
Considering how many cards you have in your game, how much time does it take to design one card by your artist?
A lot. I mean, the project. This is one of the reason the project is already over a year long. So you can imagine 50 people team working for over a year, and about 10 people are design guys. Plus we have those external people who we hunt from the crowd, and we gather their feedback, and they also help to design the card. So I won't tell you like 2 hours or 2 days, because it's not like that. But at the beginning we'll have close to 100 unique skills. So those are the combinations you can combine everyone with everyone. All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.